I guess it says that the effects are coming through perhaps slightly faster than we had expected. So we had always thought that the stimulus will eventually lead to a pickup in growth and activity. It's just that it's come through in the Q2 numbers. So on the whole, it's still for the whole of the year remains on track to meet the 7.5% target or thereabouts. No, I think we'll still see a continual pickup in H2, judging by some of the leading indicators. And the one thing that people haven't really been discussing is perhaps external demand gradually picking up. Now, we've been disappointed before in terms of world trade cycle, but on the whole, I think Europe and the US probably can't get too much worse, and if anything, the sort of balance of risk around that side is perhaps on the upside. I think from where we are now, around the 615 level, not too much change for what it's worth. We think it'll probably strengthen a bit to end up at 6.14 by the end of the year, mainly on, I think, just the better economic data that we expect to come through the second half of the year. But on the whole, I don't think it's going to be something that the PBOC is using actively to perhaps drive exports. That's not really the best tool. There are a lot of other measures that it can use to boost growth. I think there will still be some potential for targeted stimulus, but in terms of any big moves, say cutting interest rates or something like that, I think the chances of that are probably receding a little, not just because of today's better GDP number, but for instance, yesterday's monetary data was better than expected. So on the whole, I think the PBOC has kept conditions fairly loose and will continue to be supportive, but on the other hand, no sort of big moves across the board. It's certainly one of the main downside risks around our forecast. The question is what can offset it. I don't necessarily think the government wants to reignite the property sector, especially in areas where a correction is probably healthy. But to sort of keep growth around a reasonable level, you'll probably want to perhaps increase investment in other areas, say infrastructure, so that on the whole, growth is still reasonably fast and the economy keeps going and employment keeps growing as well.